Hey, what's up everyone? I'm back on my Technomancer, but this time I'm using a new minigun build that works amazingly well after the new Horizon update. Before I get into the video, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, DEVASTATOR. If you don't have enough time, patience, or good enough teammates to get the gear and items you want in a certain game, that's perfectly alright because DEVASTATOR has you covered. Go to their website, www.deving.net, to help get boosted in games like Destiny 2, Division 2, Outriders, and many more. They'll make sure you get your characters leveled up, best setups, guns with high rolls, and much more. The boost works with account sharing as well. They also give you the option to choose exactly what you want them to get for you in that game without the use of cheats or bugs. This is a trustworthy site with over 3,000 reviews on Trustpilot and having a 4.9 out of 5-star rating, so you know these guys are good. The site has been running for many years with a large variety of payment methods. You can use the code DIVINE to get a 15% discount on all services. If you have any questions, you can always contact an operator on the website to help you out. A link to their website will be in the description down below for anyone interested. That's everything for today's sponsor by DEVASTATOR. Again, thank you for sponsoring this video. Before I get into the build, I have to give a shout out to Babylon because they're the ones who discovered a very huge and key part to this build to make it work. A link to their channel and video discovering the key part to this build will be in the description down below. They also post tons of Outriders content and have a really great community, so make sure to check them out. Don't forget to subscribe for more weekly Outriders content. I also have a Discord set up for anyone looking for more people to play with. The link to that will be in the description down below. Let's start this build off by diving into the weapons. The first weapon, which is going to be our main weapon, is the Death Shield. It doesn't come with any great attributes for us, them being Weapon Life Leech, Healing Received, which is a decent one, and Close Range Damage. Two of the three attributes doing absolutely nothing for us, but I didn't pick this weapon for its attributes. I picked this weapon for the mod it comes with, Fortress, increasing our armor, resistance, and damage output by a huge 30%. The second mod I equipped is Ultimate Toxic Bullets, so shots will apply the toxic status effect. This mod is really good because we're going to get two uses out of it after I explain the armor mods. Now, most people would comment, hey, weapon mods don't apply to the minigun when it's activated. But this is the trick that Babylon discovered. If you activate the minigun having it in hand, then open up your inventory and equip the weapon that has the mods you want on, the minigun will shoot as if it had those weapon mods equipped. And that's how we are going to use the weapon mods while using the minigun to get some really great damage and utility with it. Our backup weapon for if we ever do run out of ammo on the minigun is going to be a Damascus Offering because it comes with amazing attributes, status power, and skill life leech. Crit damage is okay, but nothing special. Also, the mod Claymore Torrent that does really good damage just by itself. So the second mod I swapped out for Fortress to boost all of my sources of damage and make me tanky since this is an anomaly power build. Well, that's everything for the weapons and how we're going to use them in this build. So let's hop over to the armor, starting off with the headpiece. I went with the Crown of the Borealis Monarch, coming with the attributes of bonus firepower, status power, and long range damage. Not the best attributes except for status power, which is going to increase the duration of how long enemies will remain frozen for. The main reason I chose this helmet wasn't just for getting a piece of the Borealis set, but also the tier 3 mod that comes with it, Twins, allowing me to throw out 2 cryo turrets. Having 2 turrets on the field at a time to spread freeze is really going to make it a lot easier and quicker to take enemies out. Then the second mod I have on is Hail Shot, increasing the damage of the cryo turrets based on my status power. So that's another reason why we want a lot of status power so we can have another amazing source of damage. Next up, we have the chest piece using any kind of purple rarity with the desired attributes of anomaly power, status power, and cooldown reduction. With the mods, I have Toxic Lead on, which is going to refill the minigun's ammo after killing an enemy afflicted by Toxic. Since our minigun can apply Toxic extremely easily, managing ammo won't be difficult at all. The second mod I have on is Captain Hunter, just being used to boost my all-around damage to elites. Let's move on to the legs, going with the Waistcloth of the Borealis, coming with the attributes of bonus firepower, status power, and long-range damage. Again, not the greatest, but at least we have one solid attribute. For the mods, I put Massacre on, which is going to boost my anomaly power by a huge 38,000 for every kill I get with the minigun, stacking up to 6 times. Another great thing about this is that my other skills are also going to be doing a ton of damage to help out during the pod rescues because of how much anomaly power I can rack in. The second mod is Freezing Boost, increasing my damage to enemies that are frozen. Moving on to the gloves to get the third piece of the Borealis set to get the set active bonus of increasing my damage by 90% against frozen enemies. The attributes it came with is max health, cooldown reduction, and close range damage. The max health is okay, could be worse, and cooldown reduction is one of the desired attributes, so all in all, not too bad. For the mods, it came with Tier 3 Shatter that's going to increase my damage even more to frozen enemies. So any enemy that becomes frozen is going to be incredibly easy to take down because of all of these damage modifiers to enemies afflicted by freeze. The second mod is Power Assimilation, which increases my anomaly power by 11,000 for each elite on the battlefield. Last up, we have the boots with any kind of purple rarity with the desired attributes. With the first mod, I went with Increased Damage, which increases the damage of the cryo turret. That skill with this build setup is going to do a crazy amount of damage. During the pod rescues, the cryo turret usually does the second most amount of damage, competing really close with the damage of the minigun. Then the second mod is Euthanizer, increasing the damage on enemies afflicted by Toxic. That's everything for the weapons and armor, so let's hop on over to the skills I'll be using and why I chose them. The first skill up is Blighted Turret. The main reason I went with this skill is for an anomaly power buff I get that's in the class tree whenever I throw it out. Also, I don't have to worry about it either once I do throw it out. It just does its own thing, spreading Toxic and dealing some good damage all on its own. Nothing crazy special about it. Then the second skill, which I'd say is crazy special, Cryo Turret. This skill is going to be our main and pretty much only way of spreading freeze so we can do tons of damage. Also, the mods that increase its damage allow these turrets to deal insane amounts of damage. Like, even if your minigun skill goes into cooldown, these turrets can cover your back so well with how much damage and utility they have. Such a key skill to this build. The last skill up is Tools of Destruction. We're only going to be using the minigun part of this build because that's what everything is mainly centered around. This skill is just going to do tons of damage, being our main source of damage, and also how much survivability I have because of skill life leech kicking in and healing me from every shot with the minigun. That also applies to the turrets as well. Now I'll show you how to use this entire build to its fullest potential. So the first thing you'll want to do is try to position yourself in the center of a room, because when the minigun is activated, you move pretty slow. So if you're in the center of the room, you won't have to move around that much since every enemy is going to be relatively close to you. Then do the trick where you swap your weapon out while the minigun is active so your weapon mods apply to the minigun. Next up is to throw out all of your turrets so you can get the anomaly power buffs activated And also have your cryo turrets spread freeze so you can deal extra damage to those frozen enemies because of all the frozen damage modifiers. Lastly, you'll want to target all the weaker and frozen enemies so you can rack up anomaly power because of the mod Massacre. Once you get a few kills and gain some extra anomaly power, then you'll want to target the stronger enemies to take them out a lot easier. Also, when you gain that anomaly power, the turrets you throw out are going to do insane damage as well. That's everything for the skills and how to use them, so let's hop on over to the class tree. I went with the bottom branch so I could grab the nodes to increase my anomaly power and give me an anomaly power boost whenever I throw out my blighted turret. Then I went to the middle of the branch to grab health nodes, reduced cooldown nodes on the cryo turrets, and increased damage to enemies afflicted by freeze. Lastly, I grabbed 3 big nodes, one that increases my damage to enemies low on health, another that increases healing for myself and teammates, and one that increases my anomaly power whenever I throw out a cryo turret. It also gives me a self-revive that refreshes itself every 3 minutes, which is really nice for co-op play, having some extra safety. If you found the video helpful or entertaining, drop a like, or if you think there's something I can change or add to make this build better, let me know in the comments section down below. That's everything for today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one.